Welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. I timed that perfectly. I just got everything finished here. So we are going to be live for about 3 hours today, covering the threat for a couple tornadoes as well as 80-mile-an-hour winds. So let's go ahead and dive right on into this. The weather don't stop, so we don't either. Let's go ahead and switch over to our tornado warning scene. Now, we don't have anything on the ground, but we could have a tornado heading right towards Watertown here shortly in New York. We also have 70-mile-an-hour winds, severe storms up. This stuff just started to explode over the last 30 minutes. I've been monitoring it, and it does seem significant enough to warrant a live stream. So glad to see you guys all in here. We have Pete. We have that random guy, Caden. We also have Lee in here, Finn. Finn, I did see your tornado. That thing was so brief and quick, I couldn't even go live in time for it. Dave V, yeah, I know I should be resting, but it seems like we got one more day of significant severe weather on our hands, and then I could probably rest. I don't know, because tomorrow looks like we might be streaming as well. I hope not, but it does look a little bit more substantial for a severe threat tomorrow as well. Hopefully I'll be able to chase tomorrow's severe threat, never know. Glad to see you here as well, Catman. So a lot of storms, a lot of severe weather to track out here in New York. Just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in those tornado warnings. Now, something I'm going to have to watch in my area is these little bubblers that are going up, because I do have, you know, the resources to go chasing for both today, tomorrow, as well as the next day. So, well, here comes another tornado warning. My bets are on Syracuse. My bets are on Syracuse. I'd bet like $50 on that we are about to see a tornado warning come through for this weed sport area, Meriden, because I was just looking at that area of rotation. Let's see if I'm dead wrong. See if I'm going to be shy $50 this morning, or now it's afternoon. Whenever that beep wants to come, there it is.
Tornado warning for Cayuga County in central New York.
Syracuse.
Cayuga County in New York.
It's west of Syracuse, so it seems like it's right on that CW region, so I bet Buffalo issued that tornado warning there. Let's go over here. Yes, Buffalo just issued that tornado warning, and I guess this moves on into like Albany's jurisdiction or something. I don't know the National Weather Service out here. I don't know who else, what other National Weather Service after Buffalo is out here, but we did just get a tornado warning. There you go. Wow, that is it. Holy crap, that thing's probably outside of the warning now. That is one of the smallest warnings I've seen. It's not the smallest, because we saw a small one last week. Yeah, that thing's already halfway through the tornado warning. In 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, that thing's halfway through the tornado warning. So, make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in that warning, but also out in front of it. I assume they're going to issue a new one somewhere towards Syracuse, so make sure you're in your safe spot if you are in that area as well. We do have another tornado warning further south. I want to briefly just touch on that. Have a tornado warning, and here comes that new one. This is for Pine Valley. Doesn't look that interesting, but we'll still keep an eye on it. Here comes that tornado warning for downtown Syracuse side. Well, it's barely north of Syracuse. Barely north of Syracuse. You'll see that here very shortly. It is radar indicated, so there's nothing on the ground at this moment. But man, there very well could be.
Tornado warning for northwestern Onondaga County in central New York, Onondaga County in New York.
So that's for Syracuse, New York here. I don't know what you just tried to say there, Caden, but I didn't understand that one. Sunny skies in Southwest Ohio. Yeah, I don't think we'll see much in Ohio, but the risk area, they kept it for Ohio, so I put it in the thumbnail. But they did keep the risk area for Ohio, even though I don't see much happening back out there. So we could have a tornado developing here very, very soon west of Watertown, New York as well. There's two areas of rotation that you see here. One is directly south and west of Watertown, and the stronger one is definitely over here towards the Dexter area, going up towards Brownsville, just to the northwest of Watertown in New York, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. The strongest area of rotation by far is this one out here towards Village Green, going into Syracuse. That could drop a tornado at any given second, so please be in your safe spot there. That looks like a very dangerous area of rotation, too. But I do believe some of that is corrupted. I don't think it's actually, man, yeah, I don't think it's actually 130 mile an hour rotation there, but I do think it's a decent amount of rotation, enough to drop a tornado, so you do want to be in your safe spot. NATOcast pulled a 10 significant tornado risk today, and it seems like NATOcast is currently verifying the SPC has a 2% tornado risk, but I do agree with NATOcast with the potential for a strong tornado today, and especially out of any storms like this towards Syracuse or any cell that may become discrete. We're going to be watching mainly the southern side of the line and the northern side of the line. Those typically have the best potential for tornadoes. If you remember yesterday's severe event, we had the northern side in Chicago, the southern side in Peoria. We had tornadoes on both of those, on both the northern and southern side of the derecho yesterday, or MCS. It might as well be a derecho, but it's not official yet. So northern, southern side of the line, that's where we're going to watch the most for tornadic development to occur. We've already seen a tornado today. Actually, I believe we've seen 2 or 3 tornadoes today. This time out in southeastern, east central Missouri, in and around the St. Louis area. All of them were very weak and very brief as well. So there was no need to do a live stream on that. But I was watching them. I did see them. It just wasn't a whole lot going on there. Yeah, that area of rotation is getting stronger. So just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're out there in Syracuse. That could easily drop a tornado. The one towards Watertown looks to be weakening, so that is good news. But you are still under a tornado warning, so please seek shelter. I didn't check. The date is correct, and the warning is correct. Yeah, everything is good. I didn't check that before I went live. I kind of just did it with muscle memory and then didn't even check it. Yeah, I did see that it's about to undergo a cell merge, so hopefully that stops it from producing a tornado. So we have a storm going up to the northeast like this, and then our tornado storm, or tornado warned storm, going more east, barely to the northeast towards Syracuse there. So your area of rotation is kind of embedded in here. It's a little bit of a weird region of rotation. It's right in the clear slot, but it's generally right in here where you have a tornado attempting to develop. So make sure you're in your safe spot, Syracuse. Just north of Syracuse. Baldwinville definitely needs to be in their safe spot. That is where we could have a tornado heading right for them, so make sure you're in your safe spot there. I do want to quickly go check a few things. Alrighty. So just please make sure you're in your safe spot if you are in those tornado warnings in New York. We don't have any other tornado warnings active. We've got three warnings, 3 tornado warnings in New York. This is 2, believe it or not, 2 warnings here for Syracuse. And then we have another one up towards Watertown as well. Both of them are very much capable of producing a tornado. So you definitely want to be in your safe spot if you're in those tornado warnings. We also have 70-mile-an-hour winds ongoing in a few portions of this line. See those blue velocities? That's where we could have 70-mile-an-hour winds occurring. So you have some blue up here towards Sandy Creek, some blue back towards the harbor area west of Watertown, maybe some blue going on there west of Fulton. So there's a few pockets of potentially 70-mile-an-hour winds that is happening with this this line that is formed. And by the way, this is in direct I will just say it's what we dealt with yesterday. It's what spawned the derecho. It is an MCV, part of the cold front, and that is exactly what's helping to spawn this tornado activity and damaging winds. So it's pretty much as if the derecho just kind of disappeared and now it's reforming. Kind of think of it like that. We had the derecho occur, then it really weakened towards Ohio, completely dissipated, and now it's starting to form back up again in New York. It won't be even close to as significant as yesterday. I'd be shocked if we end up with greater than 80-mile-an-hour winds today. I'm shocked we're even seeing this. I didn't even think I'd be live right now, because I did not see that big of a threat when I woke up this morning. I was like, it looks like it's downtrended quite a bit. And all of a sudden, these storms kind of popped up out of almost nowhere. The HRRR was doing a pretty poor job on how this scenario was going to unfold. But it is beginning to intensify here. Our prime severe threat will be between now and 5 o'clock. So that is a perfect duration of a 3-hour live stream. So glad to see you guys all in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button and share the stream so we can reach as many people as possible with the word of severe weather today. And there goes your area of rotation. It completely dissipated. That is what clear air does. Like I said, I don't think it was actually that strong, and your area of rotation disappeared in a whole one scan. So just make sure you're in your safe spot. Probably still rotating at least a little bit somewhere along this indent here, going towards Baldwinville here in central New York. But it shouldn't be as big of a tornado threat anymore now that that cell merge is occurring. Charlotte, nah. Charlotte shouldn't get in on much severe action today. There is a risk for a couple thunderstorms. Severe storm or two can't be ruled out throughout all of North Carolina. Maybe even some of Southern Virginia where I am, but it doesn't look like any big threat. So again, we do have 2 tornado warnings active, technically 3, because we have a split warning here in Baldwinville. We have a warning here and a warning here, so it's really split. And then, of course, we have our other tornado warning back up here, way up here in Watertown. Now, the tornado warning up in Watertown expires in approximately 17 minutes. Both of the warnings in Syracuse expire in 17 minutes as well. So if all goes well, hopefully we'll be without a tornado warning here in about 17 minutes. So we also have severes, like I said. We actually just got a new severe warning for 70-mile-an-hour winds because the old one's about to expire in 1 minute. And this goes for a ridiculous hour and 16 minutes. That is a long duration severe thunderstorm warning. It goes all the way from the coastal region here towards Watertown, all the way back out towards Lime Falls and Constableville. So that is a big severe warning for over an hour and 15 minutes. Oops. I was attempting to pull up my other radar site. I wanted to take a look at those storms in south central New York. They don't look that interesting. So really, main area to watch is going to be central northern New York. This is where we're going to be watching probably the most today. I do want to go over our risk here since, we're really just starting up, but there's your risk for severe weather today. We do have a level 3 in place now. We talked about that before we ended this stream yesterday, that this would probably be upgraded to an enhanced for wind, and they did do that. It is a 30% chance for damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour today. And the line is a little bit more north. It is slightly more north, so that enhanced risk could have been extended more to the north there. Because our cells are just a little bit more north than we initially anticipated. So the main risk is more of this region here, as opposed to slightly further to the south of that. We'll see if they correct that on their new outlook here at 4 o'clock. We're going to be live for that. 4 o'clock Eastern, we will be live for that outlook. We're going to be staying here for a little while, tracking these tornadic thunderstorms with you. Where are tornadoes possible, I believe is what you tried to say there. along this whole line. This whole line here will have a risk for tornadoes as it pushes to the east in New York. Now, further to the south, if you saw the thumbnail, we actually have a slight risk that goes all the way into Pennsylvania. Uh, and even some into Virginia as well. I really don't see why the slight risk is that big. I'll show you here. I mean, we have this massive slight risk. I don't really see much happening out there towards Pittsburgh. Holy crap, is that Brooklyn? My goodness. Glad to see you're doing all right there, Brooklyn. Hopefully all is going well. Glad to see you're back in here. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about, tuning into the streams, but glad to see you're alive. Glad to see you're alive. It feels like it's been a month or so. But yeah, that slight risk does go all the way down towards Virginia. I really don't see much happening anywhere in this area, but we do have that risk present just in case. But I don't really see that being much of an issue there. But we'll still watch it. We'll still keep an eye on it. We could still see a tornado or two that far south. But our main tornado threat by far is definitely going to be into New York, maybe even into a small portion of Vermont as well. So we'll be keeping a really close eye on that. Tornadoes shouldn't be the main issue today, although I do believe we could see a couple tornadoes, maybe even a brief, strong tornado. If these storms can have the right cell mergers and right interactions, I do think we may have a strong tornado threat on the table today. But it shouldn't be anything even remotely close to what we were at yesterday. Yesterday's threat shouldn't be... yesterday's threat was much, much higher. Let me go back over to here really quick. I'm also keeping an eye on the models for me tomorrow because I really want to get out and about and chase. It's been so long. I wonder what's going to happen when all those storms merge, but it will likely just become a line. Yeah. That might even help weaken it. Like I said, I really think our primary threat's going to be till 5 or so. Once these storms get towards like the Glen Falls area in New York, this stuff should begin to weaken as we go towards Glen Falls, Rutland, Vermont there. So your primary threat should be just behind that, which is right in this area here. Damaging winds up to 80 miles per hour, a few tornadoes, maybe even a brief strong one, as well as some isolated hail can't be ruled out. I don't think the hail threat's that high. Oh, it is a 15% out here. So that is up to about 2-inch hail being possible there. We also have some risks further west for some tornadic activity back towards Nebraska. I did not look at that at all. I did not even remember that that was a threat. Looks like that might be a cat bust. Yeah, it looks like we might have a cat bust on our hands out there in Nebraska. And it still looks like we're going to see some damaging winds out there towards Colorado, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. Could still see some damaging winds up to 65, 70 miles per hour out there. But that northern risk up here towards eastern Nebraska, it looks like that's going to be a cap bust, basically where the lid over the atmosphere never lifts. It never dissipates. So we may not see much severe weather out there towards Omaha. Just going to check this stuff again. Still don't see any good area rotation. We're in a little bit of a lull here where we're going to see these storms try to re-intensify and then attempt to produce tornadoes a little bit later. That's kind of, remember yesterday's threat, we had a bunch of tornadic activity on the, like right towards Davenport, and then we kind of went a little lull in tornadic activity, and then we kicked up big time in north central Illinois. Then we calmed down west of Chicago, and then once it got into Chicago, it increased again big time. So that's what these lines do. You know, they typically try to produce tornadoes, and then they try again about 15, 30 minutes later. Then they keep redoing that over and over and over again. And since we have an MCV in place, I don't know exactly where that spin is, that MCV. It looks like it's probably, I almost want to say somewhere up in here where we have that MCV in place. So that would allow for the greatest tornado threat to be more on the northern edge of this line, but still present on the southern side. I'll check some model runs here, see if I can spot that MCV. Yeah, it's not really a well-defined MCV from what I can tell currently. But it's somewhere back up towards where I've circled. I'll go look at satellite imagery, see if we got some spin going on there. It might even be a little bit further south than that. Based on the satellite, it actually looks to be like down here. Interesting. But wherever that MCV is, that's right out in front of that's going to have a better shot at producing some tornadoes and damaging winds. Let's see here. We just got something new. That's a tornado warning still in effect for Syracuse. It is still radar indicated, so that is good news. That is in effect for about 9 more minutes. I don't think they'll really continue that. I think we should lose our tornado warnings in 9 minutes. The main threat today, by far, like I said, is damaging winds. If we're going to see a strong tornado threat today, it's going to probably be from that southern side or the northern side. It's going to be from either the north or the southern side. I would have money betted on the southern edge, just because that's not as upstate in New York as that storm towards Watertown. And the ingredients, I believe, are really favorable towards Syracuse. I checked that like 2 hours ago, and they were favorable. Let me look now. We just got a new observation. They are still very favorable. Yeah, especially right out in front of Syracuse. Right out in front of this line, it is definitely favorable. Do we have a lower level jet? We do. Yeah. So we definitely can't toss a strong tornado completely in the trash can. Let me see what the SPC has. They have a 2% chance for a strong tornado. 20% chance for 2 or more tornadoes, and a 2% chance one of them are strong. So very, very low chance. The wind threat is a 70% chance for 10 events of 58-mile-an-hour winds or greater, and a 30% chance that one of those 10 events is 70-mile-per-hour winds, or actually 75-mile-an-hour winds or greater. And then we could have some large hail up to, like I said, about 2-inch in diameter. All right, let's go back and check that storm in Watertown. It ain't looking too healthy. Yeah, I mean, this line is going to stay damaging winds like we really expected. Hopefully we continue to see that. And I say that because I'd rather have some damaging winds as opposed to a massive tornado threat. So as long as this stuff stays linear, we shouldn't have a crazy threat for tornadoes today. My goodness. So once again, just please be in your safe spot if you're in those tornado warnings. They only go for about 7 more minutes, so stay in your safe spot if you're in either one of those warnings. If we get a new one, I will let y'all know. I do want to just briefly, I'll check this on another monitor while y'all stay here. I want to briefly go check some of those storms in Missouri, because we had freaking rain showers producing tornadoes in Missouri earlier today. It doesn't seem like any of them are trying to rotate, so that's good. Hopefully we stay with that. So again, like I said, please be in your safe spot. If you see these severes here, they're highlighted with yellow and black right in this area. See how this is like a more thin yellow area, and this is a more bold highlighted yellow severe. Long story short, that just means they're more significant. So this is currently warned down here for, I'll go ahead and just fact check it before I tell you guys. I want to make sure I give it exactly what it's warned for. So this is warned for 60-mile-an-hour winds and 0.75-inch hail, as well as a tornado possible. And this bold severe up here towards like Watertown, and also this one towards Syracuse. That is, both of them are warned for 1.5-inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. The 70-mile-an-hour wind tag is what gives it that bold color, because that means it is a significant severe. Also commonly called a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're just tuning in, we're covering a risk mainly in the Northeast, but we do have a risk that extends all the way back out here, all the way to freaking almost Denver, Colorado. So very big risk today. in terms of area covered. The most concentrated risk for severe weather, and the main area that we're covering today is going to be up towards this enhanced risk for severe weather near Watertown and Syracuse, pointing out to the east where we have that level 3 enhanced risk for damaging winds in place, as well as the potential for a tornado or two and some large hail up to 2 inch in diameter. We do have a slight risk back out here south of the St. Louis area for later on today. That is a level 2 threat. That is going to be for the potential of some large hail up to 1 inch in diameter, mainly damaging winds of 65-mile-per-hour winds possible there. Same goes for this slight risk here, damaging winds 65 to 70 miles per hour possible, as well as a bit of a larger hail towards 2 inch in diameter possible there as well. The storms that should be ongoing now in Nebraska are not ongoing, so I don't think we'll see much there, but if we do see cells start firing up there in Nebraska, they will have the threat for mainly hail and wind, just like all the other risks. So our main tornado threat should really be focused in that orange area, maybe even a little bit around that yellow region too, for the potential for, like I said, a tornado or two today. It shouldn't be that notable, but we're here just in case it is. Just in case this is a bigger threat, we're going to stay live and keep a very, very close eye on it. It is considerable. We do have significant severe weather occurring right now, so make sure you are at least indoors, away from doors and windows if you're inside those severe warnings. Now, if you're in the tornado warnings, you, of course, need to be seeking shelter. Only 4 more minutes left on that. I do think they're going to allow for both of those tornado warnings to expire. I do not see anything notable with any of these areas at this moment. Now that one in Watertown, it might be trying to re-strengthen there on that new scan. I doubt it, but we'll see if it's still there on the next scan. It might be attempting to rotate a little bit more here. Let me see here. Is this group on the northeast track? I mean, yeah, we're talking about the northeast, if that's what you mean. Yeah, we're going to cover the northeast. That's really the main area we're covering today. Thank you for subscribing, Misty. Much appreciated. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. We'll see about a live stream tomorrow. I know for a fact I can't stream Thursday or Friday. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we'll put it up in the air for a potential stream tomorrow if it gets significant enough. But at the moment, tomorrow's threat is a big slight risk for severe weather. Here you go. This is a simulated radar tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and it is messy. It is messy. We've got a mess of storms up here, mess of storms back here, mess of storms over here and over here and over here. It's just a big mess of strong to severe storms for tomorrow. You can see this is the risk. So we have that level 1 and level 2 for tomorrow. Not that big of a threat. I am under that level 1 threat. Same goes for today. I just got put into that marginal risk for today in my area, which is why I was saying I'm considering a chase today and tomorrow. Likely both of those won't be a live stream unless it's significant enough to start up a stream. But at the moment, today's not doing much. Alright, we just had that tornado warning dropped in Watertown, so they canceled that early. There's no longer a tornado warning in effect for Watertown, New York. You are safe to come out of your safe spot. However, please remain away from doors and windows, and definitely want to be staying inside as well, because that will have the potential for very frequent lightning, very heavy rainfall, some small hail, and the biggest threat with that is potentially 70-mile-an-hour winds. Still have that tornado warning in effect out here north of downtown Syracuse for the Salina area, Baldwinsville, Clay. You guys need to be seeking shelter. That's only for about 60 more seconds, and then we'll be back down to a normal severe thunderstorm warning. At least on our scenes here. I probably need to create one for the considerable severe, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. Let's see. I'm sorry, I completely missed your question. How will New York City be? Yeah. Like Pete said, it's probably going to be a bit sunny at the moment, and then later down towards later tonight, bit of thunderstorms. I'll go ahead and take a look at, yeah, maybe some rain, maybe a rumble of thunder towards like 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Shouldn't be anything too crazy, though. So pretty much exactly what Pete just said. All right, we no longer have a tornado warning in effect. However, I don't think that's going to last too long because I have a feeling one of these storms is going to try again to produce a tornado. For some reason, my software still says there's a tornado warning in effect, but I know there's not. Look at this. It says there's a tornado warning in place, but that is a lie. Because if we go here, there's no tornado warning in New York. My other software, no tornado warning. And even this software here, you could clearly see there's no red box here. Oh, there it goes. It's finally gone. Just a little bit of a glitch on the software. Let's see here. That's the northern side. So again, we'll keep an eye on these two areas for potential areas of rotation that could develop. Especially that southern one towards Syracuse. It's going through a cell merge now, so it still needs some time to attempt to recycle and maybe try to produce a tornado later down the line. But at the moment, the tornado threat is low. It's low at this moment, but it's probably going to increase again over the next hour, probably less than that. Let's see. Yeah, so here's your simulated reflectivity on the HRRR 17Z. So this just finished coming in. This is generally what your radar looks like right now. As of about 2:30, we have that storm towards Watertown, that storm near Syracuse happening. Those storms are expected to continue to the northeast, become primarily a damaging wind threat, and then they should weaken pretty quick as we go into the evening hours, but I don't know about that. We have a lot of instability in place, so if we take a look at your instability, this is a factor we have to take into account here. So at 2 o'clock, the HRRR, which this is about 30 minutes ago, shows that there's a broad area of about 1,400 instability in place, and here comes a tornado warning, exactly where I was talking about. It's going to be for Salina. Can y'all see?
For
there you go.
West Central Oneida County in central New York, northwestern Madison County in central New York, northeastern Onondaga County in central New York, Madison, Oneida, and Onondaga County in New York.
So this is what the HRRR thinks our instability looks like right now. Like I said, a broad area of 1,400 to about 1,600 instability. This is what it actually is. A large area of 2,000 to 3,000 instability out in front of the line. So that is a big difference. There's a big difference between 1,000 instability and 3,000 instability. So that's probably going to allow for these storms to stay stronger for longer. Unlike what the HRRR shows, which is them dying out over the next 2 hours, or even before that. I think these storms are going to last until at least 5 o'clock. So there goes that tornado warning for Syracuse. I was just talking about that. The National Weather Service saw that as well. They clearly saw that little notch trying to clear out there, which is an indicator of a storm trying to rotate. And you also have this little hook towards Liverpool. And there is some velocities very close to that. So that's what warranted your tornado warning, which is a good call from the National Weather Service. Always better safe than sorry there. The northern side, that's at the moment, that's very outflow dominant. You can see a very clear line. You can see there's no notches. We don't have a little notch here, and then it keeps going. We do have a little indent on the northern edge of that line towards like the Mills area, Evans Mills area. That's where we were seeing some rotation before to the southwest of Evans Mill in New York, but that's very broad, very weak. I don't see that being an issue. So this line is continuing more and more to the east here. Pray for our radar site. It's about to take a direct hit from this thing. It should survive. I don't think this has enough wind speeds to destroy a radar site. Let me look at some cameras. And let me get some cameras out here since we don't have any chasers with us today. Okay. Should be no. Nebraska, definitely not Nebraska. Here we go. Give me a map of them. And camera. Okay, we did have some in Watertown. It doesn't look like we have any. Well, we have one in Boonville. Where's that? That seems pretty close to where these storms are. South of Lowville. So Boonville should be like right here. Oh, there it is. So it's just outside the severe warning. We do have a camera there. That is a live feed. So we may be able to see some cool looking clouds in about an hour or so from that camera. Well, the camera's down. The camera's down. Never mind. Come on. I'm gonna refresh it. Maybe it'll come up again. Yep. That's New York right there. That is the New York I know. That is the New York I know. Traffic cams just don't work. There ain't even storms there yet, and they're already going down. So again, we do have a tornado warning in effect for North Syracuse. If you're in that area, please seek shelter immediately. A tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. Remember, a tornado warning means that a tornado could develop at any given second, so please seek shelter immediately. It doesn't look the most impressive. You know, we don't have any big notch here with the big hook. We don't have any strong region of rotation. We have some very broad velocities, some weak velocities in this region here, moving to the east, but nothing that is like a tight couplet that screams a tornado's about to occur now or something around those realms. But you never know. You know, radar lies all the time. Yesterday, for instance, yesterday we were seeing some very weak presentations for the potential of tornadoes. And then we saw a small debris signature. We actually had a wedge tornado yesterday with a tiny debris signature west of, I believe, West Chicago or west of Chicago. Right around the Chicago area. So these radars, I mean, they don't scan right at the surface. You know, they're scanning higher up, and especially right now, it's scanning 3,000 feet up. The SPC is considering a watch issuance for Pete. I believe you're in that. You actually might be. What state do you live in again, Pete? Is it New Jersey or is it Delaware? I think you're in New Jersey. Pretty sure you're in New Jersey. But here's where they're considering that watch. Right. Let me find it. There. So Philadelphia, Harrisburg, New York, we have the potential for a watch to be issued, so you are in that, Pete, in New Jersey. The potential for 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts will be possible as storms begin to potentially fire. Let's see, weather watch may be needed later this afternoon, 40% chance. So if storms fire, which it looks like we already have some rain showers going up, they'll probably issue that severe thunderstorm watch for the potential of 70 mile an hour winds there. That wedge hit my friend. Well, hopefully he's all right. 96 mile an hour wind gust. That's windy. That's pretty windy. Thank you for the $10 donation, Blues. Much appreciated. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Still a tornado warning in effect there for 21 more minutes for North Syracuse. And we'll just continue to watch that. It is starting to have a little notch to it right here, but I don't think that's anything ridiculous. At least now. At least right now. All right, we're back to a full severe line. What is this, a repeat of yesterday? Look at this. We've got a large line that is now formed out here. We are severe warned all the way from north of Watertown all the way down to the border between Pennsylvania and New York. That is, let me see how long that is. That is 160 miles from north to south worth of a severe warning. So we're right back at what we were dealing with yesterday out in this area. Still nothing impressive tornadic-wise, just that warning, that precautionary warning in place for the potential of a tornado to drop. That's just better safe than sorry, so that's what they're issuing that warning just in case. Let me go ahead and quickly do that. There we go. So again, just remain indoors, away from doors and windows if you're along this whole line, except for in that tornado warning. If you're in that warning, you need to be seeking shelter. If you're in that tornado warning, you need to seek shelter. Go to your safe spot. That is the one area that you have to be seeking shelter. Now, all of these storms, I believe every last one of them. Yep, every last one of them is torr possible. So at any moment, we could have a tornado develop along this whole line here. Because the whole line is torr possible. So keep that in mind as well. You know, if it gets a little bit rough out there, it's best just to seek shelter just in case it is something a little more significant than what your warning's for. Always better safe than sorry. I don't see anything that shows like a tornado imminent anywhere. Other than in that tornado warning, like I said before they issued that warning, we have a little clear slot that is developed out here towards Bridgeport. That's allowing for some inflow to get into the storm, which is probably helping it to rotate right near North Syracuse. Still watching those velocities up towards, now going towards Black River and Carthage and Neutral Bridge in New York. Just very broad velocities. We have winds going towards the radar and winds going away from the radar. They're not close enough for rotation, but it could very quickly try and spin up a tornado like it's been doing for like the last hour or so towards Watertown. So again, that tornado warning, if you're in that tornado warning, it remains for another, that's not right, another 3 more minutes. That's not right either. 18. There we go. Man, I'm telling you, something's wrong with my software today. I'm going to close it and refresh it. Radar Omega having its bugs again. Yeah, 18 minutes in effect for that tornado warning. 3 minutes for the severe. It's too hot. It's like 94 out here. Which, I mean, that's pretty hot. That's not really a temperature I'm comfortable with stepping outside in. The only way you're getting me to go outside in 94 temps is if it's a thunderstorm. I'm not a fan of heat. I love cold. I would much rather have it freezing cold than burning hot. There's your little air rotation still in place towards Bridgeport. So just some broad velocities there capable of producing a quick, brief spin up. Ooh. We had a freaking funnel reported in Wisconsin. What? Yep. Look at this. We have a very special weather statement in place in Wisconsin. See these storms here? I'll clear that arrow. These cells here are in a special weather statement, and look what the tag is. It is very unlikely these funnel clouds touch down, but any that do will be very weak and brief. So the hazard is funnel clouds. The hazard is funnel clouds being possible with these little rain showers here. Isn't that something? I want to go look at our cheat code on mesoanalysis, see if we have a favorable environment for land spouts out there. Yeah, we sure do. Especially in north central Illinois. You see our cheat code here, and look at where that red and blue overlap right in this area here. So it is indeed favorable for some very, very weak land spouts and some funnel clouds out there. So not a shocker that we have that in place, that special weather statement. Still an area rotation, like I said, in Bridgeport for the next, that is tornado warning for the next 16 minutes now, so just stay in your safe spot until that is lifted. And now it's another waiting game for a new scan here, which should be in 9 seconds. We also will be getting a new severe watch. Did they already issue that? They did. I just completely missed that. We've had that severe watch for a long time. Severe watch is now in place out here from northwestern New York all the way towards Albany, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, back towards Rutland, most of Vermont in that. for the potential of, that's about the same probability. So you're looking at 75, 80 mile an hour winds possible. Some small hail up to 2 inch in diameter, 1.5 to 2 inch in diameter, and a brief tornado or two will also be possible. So I believe that's like the exact same probability. So this watch is a 22, 70, 30, 30, 30. This watch is a 22, 70, 30, 30, 20. So this new watch that they've issued has a lesser chance of producing 2 inch hail. So almost the same probability. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we got an injury reported in, I don't know how to say that, harbor, west of Watertown. Injury, tree damage. Let's see, at least one tree fell on a house with injuries. Time estimated from radar. That is not good. That is also from where we had a tornado warning in place. That's exactly where we had the strongest winds. Your damaging winds would be here, and you'd have a tornado potential wrapped around in that rain-wrapped area. So this whole area would be an area of inflow here. So you'd have a lot of winds surging into the storm, winds bowing out, as well as some tornado potential. So that had a lot of hazards with it as it moved onshore. So not surprised that we have trees down there. Unfortunately, it appears to have hit a house. A new severe warning for 1.5 inch hail and 70 mile an hour winds. Oops. Let's go over to that. So that's for this storm, which it has a little hail core with it. Look at that. It's been a little while since I've seen a hail core. You can see a bit of gray pixels in that for about 65 dBz. So probably a bit of larger hail falling there. That is a considerable severe. Almost all of these are significant right now, with the exception of these far southern severes. But we have 1, 2, 3 significant severes, I believe. Yeah, 3 significant severes. So that's a pretty good amount. I'm keeping an eye on my area still out here towards south of Martinsville. Even if it's rain showers, I'm probably going to chase it. I mean, if I get some rain showers, I'm going to go chase some rain showers. That's if they hit me, though. Man, the HRRR is handling today's threat in North Carolina terribly. That's another thing to keep in mind. I try to remind you guys about that. Model runs are trash at depicting what the severe threats may do in summer. So even with that storm, the severe setup in Nebraska today, I don't see many model runs initiating thunderstorms, but they still could initiate thunderstorms. I mean, we could still have an explosion of severe storms later on today towards like 6, 7 o'clock in Nebraska for the potential of damaging winds and large hail. Models are just terrible at handling springtime and summer, especially summertime, more specifically thunderstorms. Yep, yesterday was indeed ridiculous. I didn't look at the reports. Holy crap. That's a lot of wind reports. It was really split, though. I mean, New York had their own near derecho, too. They really did. It wasn't as notable by any means, but, I mean, it tracked from near Buffalo all the way to near south of Albany. So that's not even like half of derecho criteria, but that's still ridiculous. Look at this. Look at those reports there in New York. And then we had another area. That is your actual derecho. So it's very clear that you could tell that this was a derecho, but if you showed me these reports, I'd almost believe that this was something too. But look at the difference. See how there's only like one significant report and it's hail? And look at the derecho that occurred. We have a lot of those black highlighted white squares there. Those are significant wind reports. We didn't have any significant wind reports in New York. We had countless amounts in Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and even into Indiana. And then once this storm hit the border of Ohio and Indiana, it died out like it always does. So yesterday's highlight was 2.5 inch hail in Iowa, 3 inch hail in New York, tornado outbreak in Illinois, as well as 105 mile an hour winds in Illinois. So big outbreak. That's Not even close to the biggest outbreak of the year, but that is the biggest outbreak for just overall severe weather this month so far. I don't really see a way that we're going to break that one either. I don't see any big threats in the near future. Now, the biggest tornado outbreak was obviously from Beryl in Louisiana. All right, back to that tornado warning. Yeah, it's died out fast. There's no rotation left with that. So they'll allow that to expire in 10 minutes. Ah, they just canceled it. They just canceled it as I was talking about it. Lucky is in Florida. He is returning home today. And Thursday, I'm going to be taking a break because I got to get ready for Lucky. We're going to meet up again on Friday for Twisters, the movie. I don't know what his plans are. I don't know if he's going to be here streaming with me at all, or if we're just doing a one-day ordeal thing. But I won't be streaming Thursday or Friday, that is for sure. Which is why I am considering streaming tomorrow, too. We'll just see. There goes your tornado warning. I'm seeing it when it comes out on the 19th. How are you seeing it on the 18th, Chip? I might do it for members, Pete. I may do it for members. I don't know though, because you know when Lucky comes over or any of my friends come over, it's really just about hanging out and building ridiculous memories. It ain't about streaming that. I'm sure Lucky's gonna want to do it though. Don't tell him it. He will do it. He will do it, Pete. He'll end up live streaming the movie and getting us copyrighted. You better watch out. He will do it. No, I won't let him stream the movie. We ain't trying to commit no crimes. No, thank you. So this is becoming a booking vortex here. And you can see that starting to occur here. So we might have a little bit of a higher tornado threat with this as it moves up to the northeast. Closer towards Harrisville, if it can get its act together. Yeah, no copyright violations, that's for sure. I don't need to be I don't need to be a criminal over here. No, thank you. No, thank you. Let me see. Okay. Copyright rules are terrible. Yeah, they are. They're the most annoying, in my opinion. They're all annoying, but, you know, you gotta protect your own rights. You don't want people stealing content. Especially not Twisters. Twisters is gonna be great. One of my friends already went to see Twisters, and they said it was fantastic. And there was a few Easter eggs in it, too, for the old Twisters, and... For the old Twister, I should say. So, hopefully I will like it. I should. If I don't like Twisters, I'm not a weather enthusiast. I mean, I like any movie with tornadoes, no matter how weird or cringy it is, I like them all. If it's got weather, I like it. Although I have seen some pretty rough ones. I watched a rough one. I don't know what it was called, but like 2 months ago I watched it, and oh my goodness, it looked like just a piece of paper for a tornado. Like the CGI was horrific. It was horrific. But yeah. My favorite tornado movie, I've really enjoyed Supercell. A lot of people didn't and said it was like boring and didn't have enough action and it was just weird. But I really enjoyed Supercell, but for me, Twister will always be number one. I don't think there's ever going to be a movie like Twister again. I rewatched it the other day. Every time, I swear, every time I rewatch Twister, it gets better and better and better and better. It gets better every time I watch it. Which is probably because I learn more about weather. And I mean, there's never going to be another Twister. There just won't. Which is why I appreciate the people who are creating this one. They didn't call it a sequel. They didn't call it Part 2 or Twisters 2. It's kind of like a completely different genre, but it's still, or not genre, it's a completely different movie altogether, but it's still going to have those, you know, the similarities between the two. Let's see here. Yeah, this damaging wind threat's starting to decrease a bit. That'd be awesome if that continues. But we'll still stay alive, of course. We're still gonna be here. We're not even close to halfway done here. And then there's also more things I could talk about, like what the heck? Well, look at this. Look at that. Hold on, I'm gonna screenshot that. CPC has issued a around 20% chance for tropical development already from July 31st to August 6th. So there you go. And then they have 40% in the EPAC too. We're going to be green light for tropical activity. I will say Supercell wasn't exactly what I was expecting. It had a few twists that I wasn't expecting for sure. I also feel like it was a way too focused on the character too. If I remember correctly, it was like way too zoned in on the character's life as opposed to like the weather. But I mean, still, it's Supercell. It's a tornado movie, so I ain't gonna complain about it. I couldn't do better. I couldn't do better unless he gave me an unlimited budget. Maybe I could do a little, you know, close to it, but probably not better. I ain't no movie producer. Yeah. This also, Twisters, I've seen just from the trailers and a few spoilers that I've given myself like a stupid idiot. It does look like it is a little, it's kind of split between both the characters and the weather. Kind of like Twisters was, you know, it was a little mix between focusing on the character's life about the weather. So I think it's going to be, very close to what Twister was. All right, I'm watching a little area rotation here. I want to see that next scan. Yeah, see the red and the green starting to ramp up right in this little area here. So keep an eye on that. Don't think it's going to do anything because it's very orientated north to south. That typically allows for a lot less of a favorable tornado threat with a storm. But if that starts to lean out, we start to see it lean more northeast to southwest. Then we may have the potential for a spin-up tornado. And look at that. Actually, you can see it. Look at the little notch already starting right there. You can see this is leaning more towards northeast to southwest, and the northern side is more north to south. I know I did that opposite, north to south. So we might have a little spin-up tornadic action about to occur here west of Lion Falls. Connor, welcome back to the stream. I don't recall you being here for a little while. Hopefully you're doing great. If you were offered to be an extra in Storm Chasing Film, what would you want your role to be? That's tricky. I would like to be like the Dow operator. That's what I would want to be. I'd like to be the Dow operator. Somebody with radar. By the way, they did officially declare yesterday as a derecho. Yesterday is now officially a derecho. I believe I'm going to just double fact check that. Let me see if I can find it. But I believe they have officially declared yesterday as a derecho. Yeah. I'd like to find the official source and page for that, but it does appear like they have. But no surprise there. Oops. Alrighty. Just haven't chatted in a while. Well, glad that you've been in here. But, yeah, hopefully all is well. Hello, Sebastian. Pete. That's crazy. Man, this is a weather stream, you know. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it is a weather stream, but just, you know, we talk about all types of things in here. I mean, we went very off topic. Oh, also, Pete, now you're a mod, so I'm gonna joke a lot with you. You better be ready for that. So now that you're a mod, take pretty much nothing I say seriously. Because that means you're a very close friend. And I joke a lot with my friends. And it's eventually gonna get me in trouble with Twitter. Maybe even another little area rotation there. Yeah, it looks like there's a few areas to watch now. I'm seeing one area here and another decent area here, but then also another area here and here. So there's a few regions that I'm now watching for spin-up tornadoes, especially these two. These both look like they could easily spin up a tornado. We'll see what happens here. See if these storms try to ramp up a bit. I don't think that's anything. I'd be amazed if it was. But no tornado warning yet. We could see one shortly. So we'll just continue to watch it very closely. Wait another scan. See if we see anything more notable on that new scan. Who was the first mod, Lucky? Wait, maybe. I wonder if it was Legacy. I don't know. Maybe. I wish I could tell. If I had to guess, it was probably very close between Legacy and Lucky. Very close between the two. Is Legacy in here? I guess she's not. I need Legacy to join in order to see. Oh yeah, you lost mod a lot, Chip. You were given mod, then taking it away, then giving it, then taking it away. I mean, you were gone for like 6 months. Like I said, even if you just message, like, even a quick message once a month, just to let me know you're alive, you'll still keep your mod. I just need to know you're alive, that's it. Or give me a notice. Like, Parliament has already given me a notice that he's probably not going to be in the streams for a while. Brooklyn gave me a notice, and now she just came back in for a little bit. So, if you do have to go away for a while, attempt to let me know. Lucky's lost a mod a few times too, just for fun. Can't be mod if you're not alive. Yep, true. True for that one. That's really the requirement. After you're given mod, just stay alive and you'll probably keep it. Okay, it still doesn't look like we have a debris signature on this, so probably no tornado that has occurred here yet. But still 2 areas of rotation right here, very close to each other. Also, yesterday, I don't know if it's official, but I heard that there was like 10 tornadoes on the ground in Chicago at the same time. I don't know if that's actually true, but I saw on Twitter and from a couple people that like 8 to 10 tornadoes were on the ground at the exact same time in Chicago. If that's the case, I mean, I don't even know the word for that. You'd literally, like, the requirement for a tornado outbreak is 6 tornadoes in a day, and you'd have 8 to 10 on the ground at the same time. That means you're literally having a tornado outbreak with 8 tornadoes on the ground at the same time. I don't even know what you'd call that. Because normally we have, like, you know, there's twins, triplet tornadoes, quadnados, 4 of them. What the heck would 10 be? Hello, Haley. Glad to see you in here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and share the stream. Those are the 2 most important things because it helps us reach more people. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing to help support the channel. And make sure you hit that notification bell as well so that way you know when I go live or upload a video. Tomorrow is going to be a very questionable day for a live stream. Today was questionable, but it got significant enough to the point I went live. And tomorrow we'll just see. But no stream for Thursday and especially Friday. Oh, yeah. I don't think I'll ever be going to Twitch ever in my life. Maybe we will have Twitch streams for gaming in 100 years. If I'm still alive then, but I don't want to force you guys to watch 3-minute ads. Because that's just not something that I can watch anytime I go on Twitch to watch somebody. It's just ads like crazy, and I lose interest so quick. It doesn't matter who it is. Which, I mean, I only watch one person in the gaming community. Let's see, that area of rotation. Is that tour possible still? No. Okay, shocker. So that northern area that I was watching looks to have fallen apart quite quickly. Not too surprised. That bookend vortex is falling apart. You can see it's actually starting to become almost detached from the line now. So that is weakened rapidly. Hopefully that continues. This is the next area I was just talking about. South of Camden, there's a little area of rotation, and then there's still a hook echo here. It looks like those 2 areas of rotation have kind of merged here. So we do have still 3 areas now. There was 4, now there's 3 areas to watch. We have one here. I'm trying to get a circle. Well, that's a lot of circles. One here. We also have another one back out here, which looks pretty decent at this moment. So let me just give you a location. One directly west of Lions Fall in New York. One directly south of Camden in New York. And, well, there was one here, but it looks like it's really dissipated, I guess, over Oneida. There's a little notch happening over Oneida, so we'll watch that one in New York as well. Yeah, I don't really like pushing a lot of ads on any of my content. Typically my videos have... Oh, here comes the tornado warning. Typically my videos have like 2 ads. Can y'all hear that?
Nope. Oneida County in central New York.
That's this
Oneida
storm.
County in New York.
So they just warned this here. There you go. So there is a new tornado warning now in place, north, or actually dead south of Camden. Not surprised with that. That area of rotation is getting pretty tight. That is up to almost 100-mile-an-hour rotation. It's actually at 88, I believe, if I did that math right. It's at 88-mile-an-hour rotation currently. But that could definitely produce a tornado very, very shortly here. Gonna wait for that next CC scan in about 2 minutes here. About 2 minutes, we should get that new scan. And we are at a tornado warning. I forgot to switch the scene. So make sure you are in your safe spot. This is going towards Ansville, Vinna, and Lee, just to the southeast of Camden in New York. That is a storm that is very capable of producing a tornado. So we'll just keep a very, very close eye on that. You can see that pretty tight couplet. Wind's going towards and away from the radar. So you have a pretty tight area. And look how close those pixels are, too. Those are very close. Wind's going... Where's our radar sight? Yeah, that's correct. Wind's going towards the radar and wind's going away from the radar. So very close and tight rotation there. It ain't moving that fast, but that's the wind speeds it's rotating at. Now that's broadened out a bit. But still rotating. I mean, you still have a good area of 70 mile an hour rotation now. You can see that green is now getting larger, and the red is also getting a bit larger too. So it's not as close to each other, but it's still definitely rotating. Still definitely capable of producing a tornado. Still some spin-up tornado action could occur along this line. You've got a couple indents here still. Still a few little indents, with that northern one being the most capable of producing a tornado. That's going to be moving towards the Lions Falls in New York area. More north, it looks like this is starting to weaken. We should get a new severe warning very shortly. They're not going to issue a severe up here because they just issued a special weather statement generally in this area. We have a special weather statement in effect for, let me see, 50 mile an hour winds. So they shouldn't issue a severe on the northern side of this, but I imagine they'll probably continue a 60 mile an hour severe out in front of this line or so, depending on how significant it looks once it gets there. Yeah, maybe a little area of rotation towards Oneida, but it doesn't look strong by any means. Not as good as that tornado warning storm. That's definitely trying to drop a tornado. Let me move my mic closer. I've been far away from my mic recently on my streams. So, let's see. I'm just quickly going to go check further south. Ain't nothing happening here. There's some little bubblers going up in Pennsylvania. Some bubblers. But nothing too over the top. Little rain shower heading my way. Looky there. It's going to die out before it gets to me. 100% guaranteed. Ain't no doubt in my mind. You want to check the meso analysis for me. How much instability do I have? Jeez. 2,500. And there's 5? Yeah, there's 5,000 to my east with 2,500 over me. The HRRR has... Let's see, it's 3 o'clock now. The HRRR has 900 over me, so it is considerably underdoing the amount of energy available today. It is underdoing that big time. Which is the typical model runs for this time of year. Tornado warning still in effect for the next, let me give you a time on that. 31 minutes, so pretty long duration tornado warning there. That's going to stay in effect for, again, like I said, 31 more minutes here. Pretty tight area of rotation still in place. You can see those winds going... Go ahead and get rid of all this. Winds going towards and away from the radar site there, just to the south of Camden, New York. So please be in your safe spot if you're in that tornado warning. It's going towards Ansville, Lee. It is currently over, just barely to the north as well of Vinna, well to the northwest of Rome in New York. So we'll be watching that closely. Also, a few little areas of rotation to the south, right in here. Another area right up in here too, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. This one is definitely going to attempt to rotate. I don't know if it's going to succeed at attempting, or succeed at rotating rather, towards Rome, but at the moment it ain't doing too well. That area of rotation in the tornado warning is breaking apart, so that is good news. And then, like I said, we could see spin up tornadoes along this whole area here. We have some very close velocities that could spin up a tornado at any moment. No tornado warning in effect there because no area of rotation is tight enough to produce a tornado at this very second. But if we do see a tornado occur or a stronger area of rotation develop, they'll issue that warning. Really hope my tornado season wakes up here. Typically, we are very active for July. I have not had a notable severe threat yet. I did have that one storm that I was far away from. That was to my north, though. I didn't get anything out of it, not even rain. But that was something. But I haven't had, like, a decent threat. I don't even think I've been under an enhanced risk yet. Which is very unusual. Maybe my second season will go crazy in, like, August. Yeah. I mean, August ain't our second season here in Virginia. Our primary severe weather season is June, July, and August here in Virginia. So we're pretty much hitting halfway, and we still haven't had anything too notable here. I did see that you had severe thunderstorm warnings, actually. Haley, to your south, there was warnings. I don't know if you got in on that, but there was 70-mile-an-hour winds ongoing earlier this morning, I think either for you or just to your south. I did see that as well. Like I said, I don't just look at the weather when I'm live. I check it very frequently when I'm just doing other things. It's not like I just live stream this stuff and then just never look at weather again until I live stream again. I'm very frequently watching radar. Our next update from the SPC will be at 4 o'clock. We'll see what they maintain. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't expect them to drop that enhanced risk. They probably will keep that. HRRR is beginning to render in for tomorrow. We'll see what it shows for tomorrow's severe threat. At the moment, it looks very underwhelming. At least for me. It does show this severe threat continuing for the rest of the day, but the primary threat ending about 5 o'clock, which I agree with that. I agree our primary threat will start to decrease about 5 today. But till then, a couple tornadoes, damaging winds, large hail. Some isolated large hail will all be possible. I no longer see a good area of rotation. That one towards Rome is trying its hardest to rotate, but it ain't really succeeding. You can see the broad area of green and red here to the west of Rome, New York. So it is attempting to rotate, but it's not succeeding at the moment. Maybe some very weak area of rotation here, but nothing really notable or worth noting here. Oops. We don't have many cameras out and about in this area because it's New York. I will check again, though. No cams out here. This is in Rome, so it might actually have a bit of a better chance at some cameras. Yeah. Where's Rome at? There's Rome. We have like a whole one camera. Whole one camera here. Okay, we do have a bit of a better one. Let's see if it loads for us. Where is this? This is south of Rome. Westmoreland. Do we have... Where's Westmoreland? Might be too far south. Let me look that up. Westmoreland, New York. That is just outside the severe warning. So actually, if I could get that up, that would be a pretty good view. Let me try to get that up for y'all. Alright, I'm going to try to load this. This would be a decent view if it could load. Well, last in Massachusetts, it probably will. You know, some heavy rain will most likely be a possibility, and some rumbles of thunder. Could have gusts up to 60-mile-an-hour winds there, but it shouldn't be that big of a threat. But yeah, it should last into all of Massachusetts. I am under a mesoscale discussion. What? Storms capable of damaging winds will be possible this afternoon across portions of western North Carolina and southern Virginia, where I am. Given the isolated and transcendent nature of these thunderstorms and in this environment, watch issuance is unlikely. Isolated cells and multi-clustered cells have begun to form in North Carolina and southern Virginia. They are in an environment characterized by large buoyancy, but little to no wind shear. Steep lower level lapse rates as well. Some of these storms could be capable of damaging straight line winds from thunderstorm outflow, and there could be some local enhancements of thunderstorm winds from merging and interacting with outflow boundaries. However, any occurrence of severe weather is expected to be isolated, brief, and a weather watch is unlikely at this time. 20% chance. Ooh, that's getting tighter towards Rome. That just might warrant a new tornado warning here. That is getting pretty tight towards Rome now. If you're in Rome, I suggest seeking shelter. You do have the potential for 70-mile-an-hour winds, but maybe even a tornado as well. So please, in my opinion, just seek shelter. You're not in a warning in downtown Rome, but you probably want to seek shelter, just in case it does produce a tornado. Let me see here. So we're going to continue to watch this area of rotation. We'll wait another scan, see if it shows a more significant signature there. Hold on. Okay. So we'll continue to just watch that little area rotation. Nothing new on this scan over here. Should get a new scan in about 3 minutes. You know your old saying, you know your old saying, when in Rome, seek shelter. Okay, I do not know that. I don't know that old saying. I do not. But Rome probably do want to seek shelter. When in Rome, seek shelter. Have not heard of that one. That might be before my time. Does that mean I'm not old? I'm pretty old. Alright, that area of rotation did begin to weaken towards Rome, but it is still there. It is still there. Not warned still. We do have that tornado warning in Lee, a little more north right here. That's really starting to weaken out. And Rome, you're now under a tornado warning. So seek shelter. The National Weather Service just issued a tornado warning for Rome, and you are about to hear that beep in just a second. So please seek shelter. You're now under that tornado warning.
Tornado warning for East Central Oneida County in Central New York, Oneida County in New York.
There you go. That goes towards Prospect as well. So seek shelter immediately. That's what we were talking about. Southern edge and the northern edge would have the most tornado activity, and the southern edge would have the best chance because of the environment. And now we're seeing those warnings in the southern edge of this line. That northern edge has died out because the environment is just not favorable for it, like, at all. So we'll watch that area rotation closely. Trees and wires blocking a road. That should be associated with potential inflow of our tornadic storm. You can see that this is where we could have had a brief tornado spin up moments ago. And this would be the area of inflow of that potential tornadic thunderstorm. You'd have it right in here is where your inflow would be. And that matches that actually matches the report. So probably some inflow from a potential tornado that caused that damage. All right, this severe expires in 2 minutes. Wait, what? We've been live for that long already? I swear it was like 2 seconds ago when I said this thing lasted for an hour and 16 minutes. And now you're telling me it expires. They just issued a new one. It is for 60-mile-an-hour winds, a tornado possible, 1-inch hail for the next 50 or for the next 48 minutes. For the next 48 minutes, you'll see that warning come through very, very shortly. That is a severe warning, of course. I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye on my neck of the woods for a chase. Ooh, there's a special weather statement to my west. That's very far to my west, though. Everything looks to be weakening unless it's down towards Winston. Oh, we got a tornado on the ground in Rome. So there's a tornado on the ground in Rome. Tornado on the ground in Rome. Please seek shelter immediately. That is a debris signature. I'll go ahead and confirm that from ZDR2. Yep, that's a ZDR drop. So we have a tornado ongoing right here in Rome, New York. Spectrum Width also can confirm that too. So please seek shelter immediately if you are in Rome, New York. We've got a tornado on the ground. We've been talking about this storm for a long time, and I was skeptical if it was going to be able to do it. Looks like it was able to do it. So that's one of our first tornadoes out here in New York. That might be a little bit on the stronger side, too, considering how deep that CC is. That's towards 75% there. Oh, no, that's actually down to 67%. So that's probably a little bit on the stronger side as well. It's likely not just a tiny little tornado, because that is doing enough damage to loft debris up in the air to the point where radar can see it. That might be a strong tornado. That's lofting debris beyond 4,000 feet. So this could be a strong tornado here. Hopefully it lifts on the next scan. So seek shelter immediately. That is a tornado on the ground. It is over Colonel Park, which is on the northeast side of Rome. It is going over the Community College of Rome campus. So if you're in the community college in Rome, there is a tornado that is about to directly hit that community college. Or actually, it should miss it. It should miss y'all to the north. It's going to go closer towards the Mohawk Glen Golf Course. which is just to the north of the community college in Rome. Very close to the elementary school. It's going to be very close to the elementary school there, east of Colonel Park in Rome. This may be, like I said, a little bit on the stronger side, too. We're just going to have to wait for that next scan to see what it shows here. But again, there is a tornado on the ground in Rome. This is not observed yet. We'll see if the National Weather Service observes this warning or not. Yesterday, we had a tornado that never went observed. That definitely occurred. Still radar indicated. That tornado warning towards Lee will expire in 14 minutes. There's no area rotation up here anymore. But still remain in your safe spot till that warning expires in Lee, which is south of Camden in New York. Again, if you're just tuning in, we have a tornado on the ground in Rome. Still looks to be ongoing on that new scan. Still a tornado likely ongoing. It is going directly over. That looks like an airport. Yeah, that is the Griffin's International Airport that is taking a hit from a tornado now. That is a tornado on the ground, still going over an airport now. And it is lofting debris beyond 5,000 feet, so that is a strong tornado, and it is now an observed tornado warning. So this is a confirmed warning now from the National Weather Service. We already knew it was on the ground thanks to these radar products. So make sure you're in your safe spot. That is most likely still on the ground, going towards Holland Patient. It's going towards Holland Patient, later down the line towards Prospect in New York. Please seek shelter immediately. You're in that confirmed tornado warning. I'm going to go back over to this really quick. So the tornado is currently located right at Rabbit Road and Cemetery Road to the southeast of Wright Settlement, which is northeast of Rome, New York, going towards Camroden. That sounds wrong. Camroden. Maybe you say Camroden. Camroden in New York, northeast of Rome. Tornado still seems to be on the ground, moving again to the northeast. Please be in your safe spot. Some of that's probably debris fallout, so your tornado is probably not that large. But ZDR does actually have a pretty large area, so this might be a little larger of a tornado too. You can also see from the velocity, see how the green is more elongated and the red is more elongated. You don't have too much pixel-to-pixel action. That might be allowing for a bigger tornado as well. So this could be a little bit on the stronger and slightly on the larger side of a tornado here. Now, we ain't talking about no massive wedge or anything like that. Just a little bit bigger than a tiny rope. Most likely. Based on the reflectivity and all the other products. Don't want to go name them all again. Yeah, so this is also very rain-wrapped, so don't try to see this tornado. It is a very rain-wrapped tornado as well. You are not going to be able to see it. That is still on the ground. Okay, newest scan. Looks to have possibly lifted by now. We'll give it another scan here. But seems to have lifted. That looks to be debris fallout, which is basically a tornado that is struck down, lifted debris, lifted, and now the debris is falling from the sky on that newest scan there, going towards Holland Patient. That looks to be fallout, which again is just basically where the tornado is lifted and debris is falling from the sky. I mean, I don't think Legacy is here. I don't think Legacy is currently in the chat. I can, let's see. I mean, you definitely didn't hide her, and I don't know if you blocked her on your end, but she's not here currently. Go back over here. There we go. Yeah, see how those velocities, now they're really broadened out. Now there's like nothing touching at all. So that's most likely lifted. But that was probably a bit on the stronger side of a tornado just based on how high up it lofted debris there. This should be the right scan. Yeah. Very clearly lofted debris about 5,000 feet up. With the biggest debris lofting about 2,000 feet up. So I do believe that was a little bit on the stronger side of a tornado. Seems like we just got a watch. Sure did. Just got a severe watch for Eastern Pennsylvania. All of New Jersey is inside of that severe watch. So there's no escaping that one, Pete. If you live in New Jersey, you're in the watch. Pretty low wind. Main threat is damaging winds in an isolated hail event up to an inch in diameter. So 1-inch hail and up to 70-mile-an-hour winds. Pretty low wind watch there. But you could see some isolated severe weather from that. I may have to step outside, see if I can grab a picture of the storm to my northwest. I should be able to see that. Because that looks like it's a pretty, that'd probably have a pretty cool Scuddy structure to it. Also watching this little area rotation, I didn't want to mention it because it looked fake almost, but it's there on the newest scan. Yeah, and we even have a hook there, so we could have a tornado about to touch down southwest of Old Forge in New York. Yep, we indeed did have a tornado in Rome. So again, tornado is likely lifting now as it's going towards Holland Patient. That is your leftover, that one right there, is your leftover debris from the tornado. I think New York will get some rain, almighty. That's really about it. Maybe a rumble of thunder. But I don't see anything significant. You're in the main risk, but from the newer model data and everything, I really just think you'll get some rain later today towards like 7 o'clock or so. I don't really see anything too crazy there. Maybe a little bit after 7, but right around the 7 o'clock time frame. Should get some rain and lightning. So, only 40 million people just got put under that new severe thunderstorm watch. About 40 million people, which is not that many. So that goes all the way from this area here to this area here. 40 million people are inside that new watch, which that's not a lot of people, I don't think. Just 40 million. It's technically 38,994,926 people. It is confirmed in New York, but it's lifting. It's not on the ground anymore. We saw it before it was confirmed. We called this area out well in advance, too. We called it out towards Oneida, moving up towards Rome. And it did produce a tornado. But that has lifted. You know what? It's very weird to say that, Almighty, because that is actually true. It's not actually the derecho itself. But we did have, yesterday we had a derecho that formed north of Des Moines, tracked through in Ohio, dissipated in western Ohio, rapidly dissipated in eastern Indiana, western Ohio, and then it stayed very, very, very weak. Couldn't even tell that it was there. And now our MCV is up here with a line extending down in New York. So it is in direct correlation to the derecho that happened yesterday. Yep, it sure is. It sure is. But it's not like the exact same line, but it is the exact same system that formed the derecho. We should get a new outlook here in about 20 minutes or just less than that here shortly. Or in about 20 minutes or so. Don't know why I said here shortly. Baltimore? I don't think there's a severe in Baltimore. Depending on what Baltimore you're talking about. We're down to just one significant severe, and that's the one in front of these tornado warnings for the Middleville area and Frankfurt area. Yeah, these storms already passed my friend who was in Munnsville. He just got a lot of rain. I'll go ahead and text him that he's in the clear. Give me just a second. Okay. So again, we're going to continue to watch this tornado warning that is in place. It is our only warning. And actually, we just had a 70-mile-an-hour wind report in Rome. AWS station recorded 79-mile-an-hour winds. Wow. 79-mile-an-hour wind report there. That might be in direct correlation to a tornado, actually. That is right next to the tornado that occurred. Oh, because that's the airport. That's right. I don't think that area got hit by a tornado. But it was definitely some inflow. If the volume's low, you could just turn it up yourself. Your device probably has a volume button. Because it's good on my end. Now, if you said that yesterday, I would have believed you because I was far from my mic. But today, my mic is right here. It's clearly in the frame. So it is not far at all. I'll double check the sensitivity. It's maxed out. I don't want it to be too loud because then it's going to start capping me out and you won't be able to hear me because it will just literally cut me out. Let's see here. Alright, I'll go to YouTube and see myself. I'll go see how low it is. Yeah, mine's fine. Now, when I look away and to my other monitor, I mean, yeah, it does get a little low, but no, it's perfectly fine. It is fine, perfectly good. It goes up to the yellow and hits a bit of the red, which is exactly what you want. Anything more than that, and like I said, it will cap you out. It is still, that warning is still observed for some reason, for Trenton. Expires in 15 minutes, but it is observed for some reason, and I mean, it lifted. It's not on the ground. But we're going to stay at observed until they remove that tag here in 15 minutes unless they specify otherwise. There's just a very broad area, green going towards the radar, red going away from the radar. It's not tight, so I don't think there's a tornado on the ground. They also said it was radar confirmed, so it's not on the ground anymore. That's really weird on why they continued that, because there's no signature that shows it being on the ground. I can add a little bit of gain to the mic. So now it's really loud. I'm only going to add very small gain to help when I go away from my mic. I wonder how loud that got. It should have went really loud. Virginia Beach, that's fine. I mean, you're fine in Virginia Beach. I'll go look at some quick model data. Yeah, maybe some rain showers tomorrow. Tonight you look clear from what I can tell, and then tomorrow night you may have some rain showers out there. Ooh, tomorrow looks fun for me. It looks pretty good. Way better than today. I do have a noise canceling on my mic, but I just put more gain to it, so it will be a little bit better. See, now you can hear my clicking. Oh well, that's alright. So we're just going to keep watching this line as it moves off to the east here. Still has the potential for a tornado or two for today. I just want to go check my mic. Yeah, it's not cutting me out at all, so that's good. Because sometimes when you get towards that red volume of DBZ, it will start cutting you out, and then it literally just won't pick up a thing. And we are now at a destructive severe. There you go. The title has verified. The title has verified. That is now a destructive severe for 80-mile-an-hour winds. So we now have a life-threatening situation ongoing for Middleville, Little Falls, and Frankfurt out here in New York. Please seek shelter immediately. You are in a life-threatening situation. I do want to see if we have any cameras out there. I doubt it. Where is Rome at? Rome's right there. Okay. Little Falls? Did I say Little Falls? Okay, we do have a camera near Little Falls, but I bet it don't work. I bet it will not work. I'm going to try a different site. I'm going to try a different site here. Let me do this. Cameras. Oh, well, this has no cameras in New York, so that's actually not going to work. Just won't load any of the cameras. That is unfortunate. Oh well. So again, just make sure that you are in your safe spot now. You got to be in your safe spot because you're in a destructive severe. So that is a PDS, severe thunderstorm warning, life-threatening situation. 80-mile-an-hour winds will be possible, which is near hurricane force. Actually, that is hurricane force wind speeds. So make sure you're in your safe spot, especially towards Newport and Middleville. That's where we're probably going to see 80-mile-an-hour winds occur. I'm surprised they didn't have that a little bit more north too, but that's okay because the report was from the tornadic storm, which is now moving up here. So I'm surprised they don't have that destructive severe a little more north as well. I'm surprised it ain't just slightly more north. I'm gonna push my mic back just a bit, just because I don't want you guys to see the whole microphone. So we're gonna just keep watching this line of damaging winds here. Hearing damage of roofs blown off and power lines down in Rome. I did see a report of 79-mile-an-hour winds, and we did see a tornado in Rome, so it doesn't shock me. That does not shock me at all. Again, the main area we're tracking today, if you guys just happen to be tuning in, let me just check that new scan really quick. Okay. If you're just tuning in, we're mainly tracking in New York today. We probably won't go into Vermont in terms of coverage on this live stream, but the threat for severe weather will continue into Vermont and the rest of the New England states there in that yellow and orange area. We're also looking at some severe weather back out here towards Nebraska later on today, and some damaging winds in Kansas and Oklahoma, Colorado, and northern Texas as well. Maybe some isolated severe weather. I didn't look at the new model data on that. Back towards Missouri. Yeah, definitely some severe weather later on today in Missouri towards 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock. Large hail damaging winds out there in southern Missouri. And there is a good storm to my south. Or not to my south, to my west. I might go peep outside quickly after that tornado warning drops here in 8 minutes. Run outside, see if I can see that storm. Still areas of rotation to watch. These two regions are just circled here. Could spin up tornadoes in the next couple minutes, so we want to keep an eye on that. I use a lot of sites. I use College of DuPage. I use SPC, National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center. Softwares I use GR Earth, GR2 Analysis, Radar Omega, Radar Scope, Attic Radar. So I use a lot of softwares to track this stuff. Let me go back over here. Okay, so again, we have one life-threatening severe warning. It is our only considerable, I should say our only significant severe. Everything else is normal severes, so it's just this destructive severe that is the issue at the moment. And we could still see a spin-up tornado out of this storm here as it moves northeast, as well as on the northern edge of this destructive severe as it moves northeast. And this is in New York. Once again, we're now going east of Rome. We're going into Little Falls, as well as eventually down the line towards Lake Pleasant in New York. We should get a new SPC outlook here shortly, in about 7 minutes or so. They may just let that tornado warning expire. I was kind of hoping they'd cancel it so that way I could go really quick. Okay, that warning might expire, but I'm going to take just a very brief break, y'all. I'm going to go outside, see if I can see that storm, as well as get me another bottle of water. I will be right back in about 5 minutes, probably less. Alrighty, I am back. I could barely see the top of it, and we just got a new tornado warning.
Eastern New York, western Fulton County in eastern New York, southern Herkimer County in eastern New York, Fulton, Hamilton, and Herkimer County in New York.
You didn't hear the beep because I had it muted. I had the audio muted. Alright, so they did continue that tornado warning. Not too surprised with that. It is not confirmed, though, so in 4 minutes we'll go to a radar-indicated warning. But there's your new tornado warning, which means just seek shelter if you're in that. Tornado could occur at any moment. And there may be 2 areas to watch with this. You see one here and another one down in here. Maybe even a 3rd region, too, towards Middleville. So that's why they issued this big tornado warning, not just a small one. There's a damage report. Destruction of a church steeple and ripped off church roof. Roof ripped off of grocery store. Time estimated from radar. That's a tornado right there. That is probably why we had a debris signature with the with that tornado, because it picked up a roof. That was in Rome, of course. So this tornado warning goes for 49 more minutes. That's going to be when we probably approach the end of the stream, very close to it. We'll be here to watch that expire, though. We'll be here well after that warning expires. So we're going to stay live for just about another hour here, tracking this severe weather threat that is ongoing still. I do believe that the threat for severe weather will decrease around or just after 5 p.m. So the plan is to end the stream right around, like at 5. At 5 is when it's, when we should have a perfect ending time. And the new HRRR does have a better storm to my south in about an hour. So if that happens, I'll end the stream and go chase that, but I doubt it. It looks like all those storms are starting to die off in my area. Ooh, damage pics on Twitter. Let me go see if I can find one. Okay, none here. None here. Nope, they're not showing up on my feed. Oh, wait, I just saw one. A tree down. That's not that big of a tree, though. Nothing crazy with that one. I'm sure there's better ones out there, but I'm not getting any of them in my feed at the moment. So definitely 2 areas of rotation to watch here. Both are where those green triangles are. That's where we're keeping an eye on the potential for a tornado to develop. That destructive severe goes for 17 more minutes. I imagine they're going to let that expire. I don't see this producing 80 for much longer. I don't know. That bow echo is getting pretty good. Look at that bow echo right here. That could very well produce 80-mile-an-hour winds. So they may extend that. We'll see. That's up to the National Weather Service, of course. Search Rome, then do latest, like Rome, New York. New York. I don't see any damage pictures. I just see all the screenshots. I see a bunch of screenshots of it. That's all I see. New outlook, they have maintained the enhanced risk for severe weather. And still the big slight risks, too. All the slight risks have been maintained. They did chomp off a bit of our main slight risk for severe weather. There's your new outlook. So they chomped off a decent amount of our slight risk and as well as a bit of our enhanced risk for severe weather. But it remains relatively the same. They did expand that 2%. Now that 2% goes for the entire enhanced risk area. Hail threat looks the same. Wind threat is the same. So overall, the exact same threats. Still the same, still the same, still the same. Still no SIGs. Got it. Everything is the same. They just chomped off that slight risk a bit and chomped off the enhanced risk a bit. That's it. Where does... Oh, I was like, what is this radar site? I forgot I had another one open. Let me go back over here. Okay, so again, we just got that new SPC outlook. Everything stayed the same. We're still watching the potential for a tornado to develop at any moment along the northern edge of this line, generally in this vicinity here, which is to the northeast of Middleville, New York, heading up towards eventually Lake Pleasant in about an hour or so. Oh, you tagged me? Thank you. I'll go look at that. Yep, there it is. Jeez. That is quite a bit of damage to the church. Gracious. Half of the roof's collapsed and the steeple's completely gone. Wow. That's definitely some good damage. Hopefully everybody's okay. That's definitely some pretty decent damage there. If you didn't already notice, we just lost that confirmed tornado warning, so we no longer have a tornado on the ground from the National Weather Service. So we're just going to keep watching this tornado warning and the destructive severe as it moves to the east. I do believe that severe threat is decreasing rapidly, though. Your primary threat is probably going to be with this bow echo here for the next 2 hours. Forgot tagging was a thing. It's very easy to forget. It is easy to forget some of that stuff, especially Twitter. Let me go to the new SPC Outlook. I want to read their discussion. That'd be great. It's taking forever to come through here. I'm guessing that's in New Hampshire. Probably not severe weather, lover. It should weaken by the time it gets to that region. Let me check. I mean, you're going to get some rain. And you're going to get probably a bit of winds. But it shouldn't be anything over the top. It is going to continue for a while. I mean, if I had all day, I would just sit here and stream, but I have some stuff I need to get done too, so I'll watch it for tonight, but I highly doubt that we'll see this significant of severe weather again tonight. There you go. That's the new... Let me get that on the SPC site, not Twitter. Okay, well, skip it. We'll do it on Twitter. It ain't working. That's a new mesoscale discussion. So there's your greatest severe weather threat. After that, your threat really starts to decrease a lot. So that's going to be over like the next hour, maybe hour and a half or so. We'll be live for another 50 minutes or so. So we'll be live for some of that. And then the threat should begin to decrease. I'm going to go over to the, let me see. What was I going to go over to? Oh, the SPC's discussion. Yeah, I still haven't read that. We're also going to get a new meso analysis, so hopefully I remember to look at that. All right, 20Z update. Main change is the trim of severe weather probabilities in Pennsylvania and New York. The outlook remains mostly on track with only minor adjustments made. That's it. That is it. The discussion's still the same, too. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty bad damage, too. It looks like an old, a not well-built little old fence bent over. And some minor tree damage there. Nothing too over the top. Not as bad as that church, but thank you for tagging me in that. It's greatly appreciated. Definitely some damage that occurred in Rome. Yeah, like I said, severe weather lover. Probably just some rain, maybe a bit of gusty winds and lightning. But it should weaken. It should continue to weaken throughout the rest of the day. I don't think this stuff's going to intensify anymore. The greatest severe threat is going to be where that bow echo is now very prominent and obvious. So that's definitely going to be where your highest severe threat is. So that's going to go right towards you. So, I mean, if anyone in New Hampshire is going to get severe weather, it would probably be you. Because it is on track to go right for Concord, New Hampshire in, man, who knows, like, what, 3 hours from now? Yeah, it will hit you close to, yeah, 3 hours. 3.5. But it should continue to weaken. Alright, I want to take this radar site, and I want to go to, you know, we'll just open another one for it, since we still need that radar site a bit here. We're going to take this to the Albany radar site. Yeah, so there's your line of damaging winds. You can see all the damaging winds behind it, too. So very capable of near 70-mile-an-hour winds here. Or near 80, I should say. Also might have a little bit of a rotation trying to spark up southwest of St. Johnsville in New York as well. So it's just this little line here. I mean, this is the only reason why we're going to stream for another 50 minutes here is literally just because of this line. There's nothing to track more north than this, and there's nothing to track more south. That stuff's very weak in intensity, just isolated 60-mile-an-hour winds, so it's just this area right here. That bow echo that is formed. I mean, you can see these storms further south here. They look very, very weak. Let me go to the correct one. Uh-oh. That might be a tornado on the ground. We'll give it another scan, but we may have a tornado on the ground here. It is far from the radar site, so it could be corruption, which is why we're going to give it another scan to see. These storms further south probably have the best bet at producing large hail. So if you're looking for some big hailstones, you want to go after these storms here on the southern end, the far southern end of the line. Damaging winds right in the middle. Tornadoes probably right in the middle of the line as well. It shows up on this one, too, as a little signature. So we're going to stay right here, wait for that next scan. We might have a tornado here. The current time should be 20Z. Yep, it is 20:08Z currently. We're going to wait for the new meso analysis to come through so I can see what this... ooh, new driver available. So I can see what this threat looks like in the future here. They just put out a new driver. I get an upgraded graphics driver. Yay. The main threat in North Carolina looks to be going towards the Statesville area, southwest of Winston. That is not a chaseable area for me. That's like almost 3 hours away. It's like 2.5 away. Still no new scan on that. So it's just going to be waiting for a little bit longer. Hopefully we'll get a new scan in 10 seconds. We might. Oh, yeah. I saw that. There's definitely a quite intense tornado in Noblesville. Bristol, PA. You got me thinking about NASCAR saying Bristol. Let me go see. Okay. So you are on the edge of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, it looks like. Yep. Just northeast of Philly. That's pretty hard to predict because it's summertime thunderstorms, so storms may just fire out of nowhere. You'll definitely have a risk for some isolated gusty winds, heavy rain, and a few lightning bolts as we go towards 7:30, 8 o'clock. Definitely nothing that's like no tornadoes. We shouldn't have any tornadoes. We shouldn't have anything that's like going to damage your house. And we shouldn't have any hail that's going to damage your car. But, you know, some very tiny hail and some gusty winds that could knock over a trash can. And then a lot of rain. That's if you get under the storm. Now, there's a possibility it just misses you and you get nothing. Welcome to the stream, Caleb. Glad to see you're home. Are you back? I guess that means you're back from the hospital. Hopefully you didn't find any damage around your area. Thank you for subscribing, Juan. Much appreciated. Friendly reminder, if you guys are new, to subscribe to the channel. We do this all year round for anything. We've tracked tornadoes like we're doing now, severe weather events, wind events, hurricanes, snowstorms. We track pretty much everything you could track with the radar. That's what we track. I just saw a little area of rotation that is beginning to develop here. There's a little notch right there southwest of Inlet, southeast of Old Forge, New York. That might try to spin up a tornado here over the next 5 to 10 minutes as it moves to the northeast. So we'll see what the next scan shows on that. The area of CC looks like that wasn't a tornado. It could have been a very brief touchdown, but all that matters is it wasn't a, you know, if it was a tornado, it was very brief and very weak. So hopefully it wasn't, but it could have been a very weak, brief spin-up tornado that occurred just about 3 minutes ago. Well to the northeast of Cold Brook in New York. Look at that Boeing segment right there. Look at that. Let me switch to the New Albany radar, or the Albany radar site. Look at this big Boeing here. That is a very large bow echo. Long story short, that bow echo is going to allow for more damaging winds and even the potential for a tornado or two to occur. So now that that's formed, it does look like our risk is going to continue probably beyond 5 p.m., but the greatest severe threat should be, you know, from now till 5. Let me see here. Okay. So we're going to continue to watch this bow echo as it attempts to produce a couple tornadoes as well as some a lot of damaging winds, primarily damaging winds. Maybe even some very tiny hail as well. They did just disextend that severe. It is still destructive for 2 more minutes. We'll see what they issue next. We should have a new warning that comes through in less than 100 seconds here. Of course, that storm died off to the west of me. It looked pretty strong northwest of me. Even had some lightning with it. And as it's approaching my house now, it completely dies out. It's like light rain. It's like nothing. What the heck? Oh, that is unwarned. There you go. Tornado on the ground. Hold on. Got to tweet about that really quick. Unwarned tornado ongoing east of Old Forge, New York. Also, we may have another ongoing tornado back out here, too. Look at that. Does it have ZDR? Yep. No spectrum width, so I'm very skeptical of that. But that might be a tornado, too. So we have an unwarned tornado ongoing now. We talked about this area just a second ago. East of Old Forge, there is now a debris signature. So that is a tornado on the ground right now, unwarned. So seek shelter immediately if you are in Inlet, New York, or east of Old Forge. There is an unwarned tornado ongoing. We may have another tornado unwarned ongoing. It is very difficult to tell. It looks like corruption. We'll keep an eye on it. It might be on the ground, so we'll see. That is east of Cold Brook, where we might have a tornado on the ground. I'm not nearly as confident on that. Not nearly as confident on that as I am with this one. This is on the ground. This is a tornado. This one back here, it could just be bad radar data. Also, a tight area of rotation that has begun on the bookend vortex of this Boeing segment. That's going to allow for the potential of a tornado to develop going towards Lake Pleasant over the next about 45 minutes or so. Moving to the northeast there. South Glen Falls. Let me go ahead and quickly check. Very low. Definitely present. Definitely present. So you want to be ready for the potential of a tornado to develop. But it is still very low. Main threat by far will be damaging winds, but a brief tornado may occur. Yep, I know, Caden. We called that out before the CC was there. We were looking at that area of rotation. But thank you for telling me. Most of the time, I don't know. I'm very curious, though, to see if this is a debris signature or if it's corruption. I'm betting that it's corruption. But this is not. This is a tornado ongoing east of Old Forge. You can see that spectrum with signature there, too. Hopefully this gets warned. I'm alive, Caleb. That's about it. I'm excited to be here streaming. Oh, yep, that is a tornado on the ground. There you go. Let me go ahead and screenshot that. Is that old signature gone? Yeah. So that was probably corruption. But that is a tornado ongoing as well. So we now have 2 tornadoes on the ground. This might be a tornado outbreak. As weird as that sounds, this actually might have already been a tornado outbreak today. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tornadoes. So we're only 1 shy of an outbreak. Still on the ground south of Inlet in New York, so seek shelter. That is still on the ground. They did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning out in front of this line. 70 mile-an-hour winds and a tornado possible, as well as 0.75-inch hail. That almost reaches Glen Falls. So, Weather Kitten, you just talked about Glen Falls. You are just barely outside of that new severe that was issued. 70 mile-an-hour winds and a tornado will be possible, just barely off to your west. So it's best to get preparations ongoing now. Get ready to seek shelter in case that severe is issued for you or in case you're under that tornado warning. Let's see here. So we're going to continue to watch this ongoing tornado. 2 ongoing tornadoes here. One is south of Inlet, New York, and the other one is well to the southwest of Lake Pleasant, New York. 2 tornadoes ongoing. This one's moving up to the northeast. This one's moving more east, but still northeast. So 2 ongoing tornadoes. One is completely unwarned right now south of Inlet. Yes, this is in New York. Sure is. So again, if you are in Inlet, just to the south, tornado ongoing. This is mainly in rural areas, like all trees. So I don't really think this is going to impact anybody, but it is unwarned. So hopefully it stays over those trees and lifts before it gets over any population. There's not much population out here now. Most of New York's population is towards the central and western portion. And then, of course, we get towards the eastern portion, towards Albany, and then it does get more populated. Okay, both tornadoes have lifted from what I've seen. Or from what I see here. Still a really solid booking vortex here. Or booking vortex. It is booking vortex because why it's on the ground, so. But this feature of the bow echo is a booking vortex. So you have your line out here. And then a booking vortex here. And then at the end of that booking vortex, that's where we got a tornado. If you remember about an hour and a half ago or so, I mentioned a booking vortex up here towards Watertown that could produce a tornado, and it failed. This is a booking vortex, and it succeeded at producing a tornado. Here comes a new warning.
Tornado warning
It's
for
an extension.
southeastern Hamilton County in eastern New York, west central Warren County in east central New York, Fulton County in eastern New York, northwestern Saratoga County in east central New York, northeastern Montgomery County in eastern New York, Fulton, Hamilton, Montgomery, Saratoga, and Warren County in New York.
So that's your new tornado warning. It is radar indicated, not confirmed. So I guess maybe they didn't see that debris signature. Or possibly it's just already, it lifted, so maybe they just decided not to warn it. Or decided not to confirm it, I should say. But there's your line of 70 plus mile-an-hour winds here. Moving off to the east still. It is still very well defined. We should have gotten a new meso analysis. I did not check that. I want to go see if this environment is still favorable. Yep, it's still favorable for tornadoes. It is leaving that favorable environment, though. So our tornado threat should decrease in about a little under an hour, probably. The instability is also starting to decrease. It's now down to about 2,000 east of this area. So we're in a favorable area for about another hour or so. And then it becomes less favorable for severe weather. Which is exactly why models have this stuff dying off just around 5. Let me go check something really quick. So again, just make sure you're in your safe spot. Still a tornado warning in effect. I don't see any tornadoes on the ground at the moment. Let me go ahead and quickly go back over here. There we go. There's a lot of things. I'm just one person, so I have to check, like, everything. There's a lot of background work that I do, too. To make sure I'm not forecasting completely dead wrong. Let's see. Okay, it is official. 9:30 a.m. They classified yesterday as a derecho. So I'm gonna just briefly do this. Okay. So still multiple areas we could see a tornado here. Most likely areas right along that booking vortex, right where I've circled here, moving off to the east, slightly northeast. So that's where I'm going to be watching the most for a tornado to attempt to develop here. This is GR2 analysis. This is GR2 analysis. Not radar scope. No. No, that's not radar scope. This is radar scope. This is radar scope. I don't know why I have radar scope in Canada. Don't know what it's doing up there. I'm going to put that back down in my local radar site so I can watch these storms. So a derecho is a line that is 50 miles wide and stays a severe storm for 400 miles. So it is a line of 58-mile-an-hour winds that is 50 miles wide for 400 miles. For instance, let me just drop for you. For instance, 50 miles wide is, I'm going to go over to Chicago. We'll use Davenport. So if we had a line that formed right here, this is about 50 miles wide, right there. In order for it to be classified as a derecho, it would have to be at 60 miles per hour at that point, and it would have to track all the way to Columbus, almost completely off your screen. I did draw that a little bit wrong. It's supposed to be like this. There you go. So it would have to stay severe this whole time. That would be a derecho. So it is a long-lasting line of severe weather that is 50 miles wide. And that's what we saw yesterday. Yesterday, we saw it from Des Moines all the way to near Fort Wayne. And that was about 400 miles. I consider, like yesterday's event, I consider them land canes. That's what I call them. I should have said that in yesterday's stream. I didn't even think about it. I was so focused on the threat. But normally we call them land canes on this channel. You know, because typically when we're tracking the event, it's not immediately called a derecho. Typically we say possible derecho intense MCS, so we came up with the word land cane, and I'm pretty sure other people use it now too. It's pretty easy to come up with. I don't know who said it first. Almost thought I was out of water. Then I remembered I grabbed me another bottle of water. Water is my best friend on these streams because it keeps me speaking. Yeah, I don't see a tornado on the ground with these storms, but we could easily have a spin up anywhere along this line here on the northern edge. Maybe even on the southern edge, but the northern edge is just a lot more typical for a tornado to develop, because it's where the bookend vortex occurs. We are in a little bit of a radar hole, so it's going to be difficult to see what these storms are doing. We're also starting to move into the mountains, too. Also, if you'd like to follow me on any other social media platforms, first link in the description is my link tree. You'll find my very inactive TikTok, my very inactive WeatherX social, as well as my very active Twitter and our active Discord server. That is all with the first link in the description. You can find all of those sites. The one I'm most active on is definitely Twitter. I tweet all the time on Twitter. I've started to tweet a lot more frequently about this, about severe weather as well. So we're going to continue watching this line, y'all. Don't know for how much longer. I mean, we'll just keep going. Oops. Oh my word, that freaked me out for a second. I clicked the wrong thing. Holy moly. Heart dropped. That's why I like to have the headphone things muted, so that way you guys can't hear any of the audio, just in case I do click a wrong, a video on Twitter. Which I did that one time. But it was muted. Don't worry, y'all didn't hear anything. Don't worry. Clicked on the wrong tab. You're welcome, Mike. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're all okay in Rome. There was some damage in Rome towards the airport to the northeast. Generally in this area here is where we had a tornado track. General path. Somewhere right in here we had a tornado occur. Right around where I just drew. So hopefully your area wasn't impacted by that. But it was right at Rome, and there is quite a bit of damage coming out. I hope it wasn't a buffer, Pete. If anyone else experienced a buffer, please tell me. That would be that would be not a good thing. We did go down a bit on our Wi-Fi plan because we were just not using as much Wi-Fi as what yeah, we just had too much. We had too much Wi-Fi. Too many megabytes. So we just brought it down a bit. We were over the top for Wi-Fi. That might be on the ground. Yeah, we probably have a tornado on the ground in Wells, west of Wells. It's very hard to tell just from the the velocity, but that is a very tight area of rotation. Typically, most of the tight areas of rotation like that are going to drop tornadoes, even if they're very weak. And a lot of them go unnoticed by radar. So we could have a tornado on the ground right now, and then once this radar scans, it lifts, and we never see a debris signature. So we could easily have a tornado on the ground here southwest of Wells, New York. That is a pretty strong area of rotation. Now, do keep in mind, we're looking further up. We're looking 4,300 feet up. We are looking higher up in the atmosphere. So in order for us to see a debris signature, it's going to have to be a big tornado. It's going to have to be a strong tornado in order for us to see a debris signature here. Let's see. Thank you for joining the Discord server. Much appreciated. I mean, my upload speed is not that bad. I think it's around 30. The download is like 200. It was 500 download speeds per second with the same 30 uploads. So all we did was take down the download a bit because, we don't download games that often. And still like 200, 300 megabytes a second is plenty for me. And my computer's hardwired too. It's wired with Ethernet cable. Oh, really, Caleb? You never had that problem? I've had that problem for the last year. Ah, dang. Yep, that is tornado ongoing. Let's see here. I'm gonna just double check that that is a debris signature. Let's see. Okay, I'm not 100% confident on that. I'm gonna give it another scan or until the SPC or the National Weather Service confirms it. Because one scan isn't enough when we're this far from the radar site to do it. So I'm going to hold off on that tweet until we get a confirmation from either the radar site or the National Weather Service. We're only 10 likes away from our like goal. So if you guys can just quickly hit that like button, it pushes us out to more people and helps spread weather awareness. And as well as if you can, share the stream with family, friends, social media. If you're new to the channel, subscribe with the notification bell set to all. Like I said, we do this all year round. That is a big tornado. That is a big freaking tornado. We got a strong to potentially intense tornado going right towards Blackbridge. Look at that. That is a big old tornado right there. Wow. Yep, that is a big debris signature. I believe that's the biggest one we've seen today. This is already a strong tornado because we're looking higher up in the atmosphere or higher up on our radar beam. So it's already out. It's already at 6,000 feet up, which means this is a strong tornado and it's been on the ground for a little while now. So that is a big tornado on the ground right there. It may not be that big. Like it's probably not like a wedge or anything, but It's big in the sense of it's definitely doing a lot of damage. It's a strong tornado, and it's probably on the bigger side here. Wow. I don't think this will last very long because the couplet already looks like it's weakening. So I don't think that's going to last long at all. Let me see this really quick. Okay. So again, oh wow. That is very strong. That is a lot of debris, y'all. This is definitely the strongest tornado we have seen today. By far. Wow. That is something. Still not a confirmed warning, by the way. That is crazy. That's not confirmed. Let me see real quick. Wow. So that is a strong tornado on the ground. Just to give you guys a little bit of a zoom out here because I know I'm zoomed in. This is going into Wells, New York, which is to the north of Hope, New York. A more populated town is Glen Falls. So this is, let me give you this is 35 miles to the northwest of Glen Falls, New York. 35 miles to the northwest of Glen Falls, New York. It is going into Wells, New York, which is to the northeast of Blackbridge, New York. And that is a strong tornado. It is not confirmed, but it is definitely on the ground. And it is now probably lifting. I say that on the new scan. You'll see the new scan. It's a lot more disorganized. Okay, let me quickly go over here. I believe that is lifted now. There's that new scan, and it looks a lot weaker. Wow. That is something. That's how fast a tornado happens, y'all. We saw that tiny debris signature, and I said this is probably on the stronger side. Big debris signature, then really big debris signature, and now it looks like it is lifting. Still not confirmed, by the way. I don't know who's sleeping at the National Weather Service. This is why I always say if it's radar indicated warning, it means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. Because guess what? In order for a warning to be observed, there has to have already been a tornado or an ongoing tornado. Man. Wow. Ooh, that might still be on the ground. That might still be on the ground, y'all. That's still a debris signature. It's not fully gone. This is now finally an observed warning. Finally an observed warning. Man. Took him long enough. Let me look at the ZDR here, spectrum width. That's just too hard to confirm if it's still there or not. But there definitely was and may still be a tornado on the ground over Wells, New York. So please be in your safe spot. We're going to continue to see some spin-up tornadoes probably over the next 40 minutes or so up in this area here, as that's the northern edge of this line. So make sure you are ready for some tornadoes if you're in this area I've circled here. This includes Glen Falls, Lake George, Fort Anne, Whitehall, Lake Pleasant, Northville, Wells, the Glen, Warrensburg, Lake George, if I didn't say that, Whitehall. Make sure you guys are ready for the potential of tornadic activity, as well as Fort Edward in east central New York. Possibly even going into southwestern Vermont, like Rutland, Manchester, and Bennington. Specifically Rutland and Manchester. But the environment should become less favorable for tornadoes with time. So the longer this thing exists and the more east it goes, the less chance it has to produce tornadoes as it moves into a worse environment. Okay, looks like it's lifted now. We'll see what that new scan shows, but it's still a light debris signature. Why risk it? Still want to be in your safe spot. That is an observed warning for 18 more minutes. No, hurricanes are measured by the sustained wind speeds. Tornadoes are measured by the damage they do. So hopefully that has lifted. This line is, I mean, it's still going. It does look a lot weaker, but it is still going. The northern side is weakened a lot up here towards Lake Long and Indian Lake. And the southern side is weakened a lot as well. So it's still just that middle line, which is in the enhanced risk. I mean, they nailed today's threat yet again. They nailed another threat. They nailed yesterday's and they've nailed today's. So again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and share the stream. Those are the two most important things. Help us reach more people with the word of severe weather today. If you know any friends or family inside the risk area, make sure you give them a heads up, especially if they are in the warnings. Make sure you tell them to seek shelter if they are, especially in that tornado warning for Gloversville, Northville, in that area. We'll get a new model run in here shortly to see what that shows, but I mean, it's probably not going to change much, honestly. It looks like Nebraska will probably initiate. We could see a brief tornado in central Nebraska later on tonight. There's your tornado risk, and it is a big 2%. So, I mean, storms might get going, and they will have the threat to produce a tornado. Just because it's 2024, I wouldn't fully rule out a tornado being strong in Nebraska. I don't see the environment or anything too over the top there, but it is 2024, and this is a good area that typically sees tornadoes. So if we do see a tornado, I wouldn't rule out a strong one being a possibility there. Now, it's definitely not a notable... It is definitely not a notable strong tornado threat or anything over the top here. Okay, let me go back over to our warning. Uh-oh. Hold on, let's go back to our analysis radar. Nah. ZDR drop. Spectrum width. We'll give it another scan. I'm not convinced that that's a tornado debris signature by any means. It is right in the corruption beam, so there's a very high chance it's not a tornado. Oops. Let me see here. It's still there on the next scan. Well, I guess we're gonna have to give it another scan, aren't we? Oh, well, there's the next scan, and it is not really there. I don't think that's a tornado. I don't know. It very well could be. All right, this is a tricky one, so we're going to go for 4-panel here. Let's see. I need my ZDR here. I mean, that matches up. Why risk it? Make sure you're going to your safe spot. We might have a tornado on the ground here. That's really a difficult one to tell. There's not much spectrum within the area, so I'm not confident on that at all. But we might have a tornado on the ground there. Moving up to the northeast, going towards, let me just double check that. Going up towards the Korth area, Glen Falls. There's a chance that is a tornado. Now, this area looks a lot better for the potential of a tornado to drop, because that's an embedded hook echo, embedded supercell in the line. And that's also going to go up towards the Korth area in Glen Falls. So definitely, I'd be shocked if they don't continue that tornado warning. So Glen Falls, you definitely want to be ready to go to your safe spot, as this line is continuing to produce tornadoes. Is what bats? I can tell you that CC ain't bats. I hope this this line starts to weaken here. Let me see. There we go. So this confirmed warning goes for 12 more minutes. They'll likely continue at least a radar indicated warning here. I'm most concerned about that this northern cell here. Yeah, it's starting to rotate a lot. So hopefully that breaks apart. Not a velocity scan yet. Ooh, that is a big velocity signature there. We'll wait for that next scan in 2 minutes here. Yes, it is an embedded supercell. Look at that. That is probably producing a tornado. We'll see what the next scan shows, but there... Oh, tornado on the ground. There you go. We got another tornado on the ground here. Spectrum width and ZDR to confirm. So we have a tornado on the ground here, southwest of the Glen, west of Warrenburg. That is north of the other area I was talking about. So this is on the ground. That is unwarned. That is unwarned. Go ahead and do this. This is southwest of the Glen. How far southwest? Because the Glen's pretty far. I don't even see the Glen on this map. About 18 miles. So that's going to make it a tornado outbreak. Yep, that is definitely a tornado. What about that southern one? Did it just disappear? Yep, that was corruption. The southern one was corruption. There you go. That is a strong tornado ongoing. Another strong tornado. Whoa, is that a reflectivity debris ball? Oh my goodness. That is a reflectivity debris ball. Wow, so we have a really intense tornado ongoing here. Wow. This is again 18 miles southwest of the Glen, New York. Still not warned. Wow. So that is a intense tornado ongoing, unwarned. 18 miles to the southwest of the Glen. Please seek shelter immediately. Still could see a tornado west of Korth develop here shortly. So we're going to watch that. And it's barely warned. It is barely warned now, but it is not confirmed. Yes, it is unwarned. Yeah. That new warning makes it barely warned. You'll see it here. In just a second. There you go. So half of it's now warned, but it is not observed. There comes a beep. There you go.
Tornado warning for Central Warren County in East Central New York, Saratoga County in East Central New York, Washington County in East Central New York, Northeastern Rensselaer County in East Central New York, Rensselaer, Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County in New York.
All right, there you go. Wow. That's something. That is something. Gracious day. Let me go back over here. Where is that at? Where is that? That's Warrenburg. So to the west of Warrenburg. Johnsburg. So that's right here. Wow. So still a strong tornado ongoing. Now partially warned southwest of the Glen by 18 miles to the southwest of Glen. That is on the ground too, most likely. We'll have to wait another scan on that because that one's a lot more difficult to tell. But most likely that one is on the ground as well. Okay. That CC did get larger, so hopefully it is hopefully it's lifting now. But still likely a strong tornado ongoing there, thankfully in mainly woods. 73-mile-an-hour wind report there. East of Northville, New York. Man. Now, that area rotation did die out, so this tornado is not going to last too much longer. But look at that. We just had a really intense tornado occur. Even with the reflectivity debris ball right there. Not as noticeable, but that was a reflectivity debris ball. That is something. Yeah, that area of rotation did start to weaken too. So these areas of rotation are weakening, but they're going to definitely try to produce another tornado. Multiple of them. This area that's currently unwarned could produce a tornado. This area here as well. And then, of course, the area that is still producing a tornado here. So still a lot of tornadic areas to keep an eye on. Wow. Man. So again, make sure you're in your safe spot. So again, be in your safe spot if you're in the tornado warned areas, and that might be, yeah, that's still some fallout there. So this is likely a lot of debris falling out of the sky here, which is going to be, let me measure this really quick. 12 miles to the southwest of Johnsburg, New York. Oh, we should have a new model run in now. Let me see if it shows this stuff continuing for a lot longer or not. Okay, well, it's rendering in now, so we're going to have to wait. It's already too late to end. I'd have to, well, I could end now, but I don't want to. Not with this stuff happening. But my food is ready, so I kind of don't know what to do here. Because this stuff's going to try to produce more tornadoes, but my food's ready. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. This tornado threat's going to rapidly decrease. So I feel like if I end now, I might miss a tornado or two over the next hour, but then after that, it's going to decrease a lot. So I kind of want to stay here just to see what happens. I want to give this stuff a bit more scans. But I do want to go get my food. I don't know. I smell the food, and it smells delicious, Caleb, and I'm hungry. Because I planned to end at 5 when things were inactive, but decided to go longer here. Storms decided to not die out like they're supposed to. I'm waiting for that new scan. But, yeah, I'm gonna go right when this new scan comes in. I'll look at it. I'll do a bit of analysis, see if there's a tornado, and then I'll go get my food and come back. And we'll probably just do coverage with the camera off. Okay, is that the new scan? Not yet. Should come through any second now. Well, that new CC scan came through, so that's good, and it shows that that tornado has indeed lifted. That is a heck load of debris. There's a lot of limbs falling from the sky out here, maybe parts of trees here. Southwest of the Glen in New York. Okay, those area rotations did weaken a bit. I really feel like I could end now and it'd be perfectly fine. I don't think we'd miss a whole lot. But I guess we'll stay. So, I am going to go get me some food, y'all. I'll keep y'all on this radar. I will be right back. It's going to take me a little bit longer than a minute this time. Quite a bit longer. So I'll be right back. I am back. I've got the food. Alright, we're no longer at an observed warning, so let me go ahead and take that out. There you go. Disable my camera. That's a lot of debris falling from the sky there. I still think we'd be perfectly fine with ending. But, I mean, I guess we could continue. I've kind of missed my ending time. Now that I've stayed live, this stuff's gonna weaken. That's what's gonna happen. I ain't got nobody to, have you guys watch. Connor is not chasing. Welcome, Indiana. Glad to see you in here. Gracious day. Steaming food. 73-mile-an-hour wind report. All these areas of rotations have really weakened a lot. Look at that debris fallout. So touchdown over trees. More trees, more trees, more trees lifted. And now that's just all trees falling from the sky. Now, it's probably not literally trees. But, you know, sticks, branches, maybe some larger branches. And it was definitely strong. How far did we loft debris? 12,000 feet up, huh? Yikes. Definitely a strong to intense tornado that just happened. And it was unwarned. And it was unwarned. Look at that. The southern side of the line and the northern side is now sub-severe. So it's just this middle portion and that's it. And that's all because I stayed live and went past my ending time. It's all me. Is there any better? Let me go look over here. Yeah, there's still no storms around me. I mean, they're around me, but not like within my chasing radius. More food. So again, just make sure you're in your safe spot. If you're in that tornado warning, this is in East Central New York for Glen Falls. I know we had some from Glen Falls. Make sure you're in your safe spot. That warning goes for 26 more minutes. I'll also go check. Yeah, our risk in Nebraska is starting to pop off now. If I don't end soon, I'm going to end up covering the Nebraska threat on accident. That's what's going to end up happening here. You know, this stuff looks like it's starting to die out. I think we're going to conclude in 6 minutes. A little over what I was supposed to do. I really think this stuff's dying out. Because I want to be able to enjoy my food. If it was a bigger day, I'd stay live. This stuff's expected to die out from here on out. So I think we're going to conclude in about 6 minutes or so. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel with the notification bell set to all so you know when I go live or upload a video. Next live stream is currently not planned. The next live stream is unknown. I'll just be live whenever I'm live. We'll see. We will see. But our main threat is probably going to be in Nebraska now. It's starting to end in New York, so these threats are starting to kick up. We're starting to see significant damaging winds in this slight risk, as well as some severes back up north. So these two risks are starting to pop off. So if you're in either one of those, make sure you're hyperweather aware. That looks like it's starting to increase in activity. And yeah, we're definitely going to have the risk for a few tornadoes up here in Nebraska. We're definitely going to have the risk for a few tornadoes up there. Well, I know you don't want me to end, but I got to go take a break. We've been live for 3 hours today, 8 hours yesterday, and consistently live for a bunch of other days too. So That's your main threat. We could still see a few tornadoes, like I said, out here. That's going to be the main area, but we are going to end because, well, I just I just need to go eat. I'm gonna go eat and take me a good break. Flash warning in the background. So I will see you guys. The next live stream probably could be around Saturday. So it may be a few days. It may be one of the longer breaks I've had in a bit. Or I could be live tomorrow. I mean, if tomorrow's threat ends up being bigger for elsewhere, we'll end up streaming it, and I won't chase. But I do want to chase tomorrow's threat. I need to get out there and storm chase, even if it's just rain. So I appreciate you guys tuning in here. Thank you, mods, for mod and chat. I'm gonna go eat. I'll monitor the threat. If we manage to see something crazy in Nebraska, which is a possibility, then I'll go back live again for an urgent stream. So thank you guys for helping me reach over 2,000 people in this live stream. Thank you guys for hitting that like button, getting me to that like goal. I appreciate it a lot. On your way out, if you can, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, as well as share this channel with your family, friends, social media. Help spread weather awareness. Again, I appreciate all the mods for mod and chat and everybody for tuning in today. It was just 10 minutes more than what I planned. I planned for 3 hours. We're going for 3 hours, 10 minutes. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I will see you guys whenever I'm live next. Or it depends if urgent coverage is needed tonight, but we'll just be live sometime in the next couple days. I don't know when. So stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather in the tropics, and I'll see you guys in my next live stream. Thank you, mods, for mod and chat. Have a great rest of y'all's night. Good.